All right, today is April the 12th, 2017, and this is a part 2 update for today. Right now it's 10 p.m., and we have a temperature of 57 degrees in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 72% right now, and we also have a barometric pressure of 29.97 inches, and we have a dew point of 48 degrees. All right, so there's been a rain forecast for about the last 5 days, and each day the percentage chance has dropped. And today we see that we have a tropical flow moving in. Let's go back to the big water vapor map. And this flow pattern right here is moving right into Southern California. And this should have brought some good rain right into our area. But as I showed in the previous video a couple of hours ago, the jets were up spraying starting at about 4 p.m. And that will stop the rain. And they're also spraying out here. We can see we'll look at the southwest map here in a second. But we also have a weather system. This is a gale force system that is bringing a lot of rain to the Northern California area right now. Let's take a look at the Doppler map. And we can see the amount of rain here that's moving into the High Sierra and also through Central California, the Bay Area. There's also a lot of snow right up here in the very northern part. And as we pan around, there's nothing going on in Southern California. And right here over West Texas, we see quite a bit of severe weather. And if we take a look at the map here, we can see what's going on. We have some severe thunderstorms right here. And we're going to take a look at those up close because there's a blast wave shooting out of the west side of this right here. There's high pressure right in this area. And we can watch that. This almost looks like if you got a balloon in your hands, the balloon representing high pressure, and you got two palms pressing on each side. You can see the outflow right here towards the end of the loop, and also right up here. Watch what happens. So that's an interesting feature. We'll take a look at that. We can see a lot of outflow right in this area where high pressure has been installed between this next system and this one right here, which is moving into Oregon. See that outflow right here. Of course, that tropical flow should be bringing a lot of rain, but the jets are out spraying in Southern California. That caps the atmosphere, and those those chemical desiccants lower the relative humidity and stop the rain. Let's take a look at this up close. Here's the water vapor map for the western U.S. We can actually see the chemtrails right in this area. And we can see the shock wave right here moving out to the west, right there, towards the very end of the loop, right there. Okay, so these terrorists that are controlling our weather have stopped another rain opportunity for Southern California, and that would be right here. That's moving right into our area, and that's been stopped. There's a big LA Times article today. The front page says, a climate of extremes for California. And it just goes on and on about how we've had severe drought. The first paragraph says, California's climate has long been dominated by a series of intense dry conditions followed by heavy rain and snow. Well, that's really not true. You know, if you've grown up in the 60s and the 70s and in the 80s, you know that that's not true. We had normal rain conditions every year. We had about 20 inches of rain in the foothills. Sometimes more than that. We had 60 inches of rain one time back in the early 80s. 58, it was about 58 and a half inches, I think it was. But normally, throughout all those years, we'd have about 20 to 25 inches of rain. and that was normal. And so this fellow here that wrote this guy's name is Rong, that's RONG hyphen Gong Lin 2 the second. Rong Gong Lin the second. And so that's the first paragraph of this article, which is not correct. So I don't buy the LA Times. I haven't bought an LA Times in years. I just bought this because I happened to glance the headline. I wanted to read it. So it's more garbage. You know, there's no mention of the chemtrail aerosol program or the all the other things that are being shown on these maps, these right angle storms and all the manipulation going on. Nothing of the sort. So, all right. So here we are looking at the water vapor map now, and we can see the chemtrails being sprayed throughout this area right here. And we can see the shock wave right there, moving back against the this west to east flow. We can see the shock wave right here where they're targeting this area of the storm, superheating that area. And they're being very careful. We don't see much of a blast pattern right there, but we do see the outflow. There's a shock wave moving to the west. Right there. Okay. Let's take a look at it here in the infrared map. You can see it right here. And here is the visible light map, which does not really show a whole lot. There's something here, you can see it, but maybe not on the camera. Yeah, you can see it there. That's visible. Okay. Let's look at the East Coast here right now. We have that area of thunderstorms right over New Mexico and Texas. Everything's kind of moving to the east. We've got something trying to spin right here. And of course, there's a channel of high pressure that's been installed right here to separate these two systems. And look at this. This looks like almost a developing hurricane. And this has a transmitter on it. We can see this is basically half a storm here. They're putting heat right dead center on this core, the center of that. That's where there's no rotation. Right here, there should be a big spiral. And we have a sort of a right angle developing right there. Right angle developing. They're going to split this frontal system away. Yeah, see it right there. And we see the split right there. Look at all that evaporation right in this area. They've actually split this in half already. So that's how it's done. They just force RF energy right into the core of that spinning vortex. And look at that, they've split the front right off, and that's going to move away. And they'll continue to beat up on this thing until it's not a threat. There are good purposes for what's going on here, but unfortunately the people in charge have used these technologies for financial gain. They've caused drought in California. 115 million trees are dead or dying. No amount of rain will bring those back. That's a logger's bonanza. So we've got to look at the who's profiting in the lumber businesses, logging, the cleanup of the forests. There's companies that do that. All these things need to be looked at. There's a deplorable lack of scientific curiosity in the media, and it's partly deliberate and also partly just lack of education. Everybody's got a smartphone. There's video games. You got sports, movies, everything. It's just overload. All right, so anyway, this is the forecast. We're going to see a lot more chemtrails spraying tomorrow because of this pattern here. Go back to the other map here, this other water vapor map, the western U.S. We can see this pattern moving right in. And this should be delivering rain. This should be the rainmaker, not this system, because they've got this all surrounded by a transmitter. We can see that area right there. This whole area is all completely evaporated from the transmitter right in this area. And we can see the tail of that frontal system moving through central California. If we go back to the map here, there's just really nothing going on anywhere south of the Bay Area right here. This is, I believe that's Monterey right there. Okay, so that's the gist of the report, and we'll just see a lot of chemtrail spraying tomorrow as this moves through. And we've got high pressure in this area, separating these two, the system from this warmer tropical flow. And look at the outflow right down here from all that high pressure being installed between this system and this flow here. We want to separate these two. Okay, so that is the report, and we'll do another update tomorrow.